virtually everything that people fuss and worry about is because they're over there with the other 9 trying to get agreement from each other, which is not possible. Again, we ask you, how is it working out? When all any of you had to do all along was reach for the alignment with you. And that process goes like this. I hate you. Oh, that doesn't feel good. I'm really mad at you. Well, that feels slightly better. Not much, but a little. You've taken all of my power away. Oh, that feels awful. That's the worst thought I've had yet. I hate you. Oh, that's better. You're not going to get away with this. That feels better. At least I've got a little of my power back. I'm still really mad at you. Better. Working with you is such a frustrating experience. Oh, feels better. I had hoped that it could go better. That feels better. And I do hope that it can go better. Oh, that feels a lot better. I wonder if we'll ever work it out. That feels better still. There are things about you that I rather quite like. Oh, that feels so good. That feels so much better. I can't even remember why I was mad at you. That feels better. You are a beautiful being. I adore you. Now you're in sync with who you are. Now, that is a simple emotional journey. Unless it's predicated by you on their behavior. If you need them to get better so that you can move up the emotional scale, you're in deep doo-doo. Because they don't think it's their job to make you happy. They think it's their job to make them happy. And they're right. So when you care about the way you feel more than about truth and justice, Esther gets hung up on that every now and again still. She'll say, Abraham, I've been taught all my life that you shouldn't do that. There should be a respect for property, for intellectual property. There should be a respect for truth and justice and the American way. And we say, there are so many people interpreting so many things so many different ways. You'll go out of your mind if you think it is your job to convince anyone of anything. You have only one thing to do, and that is to come into alignment with who you are. And when you do, your alignment will cause a connection with the energy that creates worlds and provide for you a path of unfoldment that cannot even be described in conversation. So, that's the basis of what we have to say to you. You are born as source energy, and you have come forth with the intention of joyful expanding. The expanding part is certain. The joyful part is optional. And that's really what we are talking about. That's why we call this Law of Attraction workshop series the art of allowing. That's your quest. Step 1 says, ask. Step 1 of the creative process, no matter what the subject of creation is. Step 1 says ask. And the contrast insists on pulling that from you. You can't stop asking. You cannot stop the drawing of desire from you. The entire creation of all that we are insists on that. Step 2 is, when life causes you to ask, source energy becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for, and will hold it eternally until you ask for more, which it will then hold eternally, until you ask for more, which it will then hold eternally. Isn't that wonderful? Even if you are a one-celled organism in the ocean and you are asking, source answers your request. All species evolve in this way. Step 3 is the part that we're emphasizing here. Step 3 says Now that you have asked, and now that Source has answered, you must find a way to become a vibrational equivalent, a vibrational match to what you have asked for. So if you've asked for more money and you keep noticing that you don't have enough, you're not matching. I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough. I really want more, but I don't have enough, but I don't have enough. That guy's got enough, that guy's got enough, that guy's got enough. Not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair, not fair. Probably deals drugs, probably deals drugs. In other words, you can't beat the drum of justification and be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. The art of allowing says, I will find a way of becoming a match to who I really am. And the thing that we want you to understand is, when you are a match to who you really are, you feel really, really good. So it's so much easier for you to discover who life has caused you to become by feeling your way into alignment than by thinking your way into alignment. And do you know what feeling your way into alignment would provide for you? It would cause you to be a vibrational match to every single nuance of every single thing that you would ever ask for. You would come into the completion of that which you have asked for so far. And then you'll ask for more and come into alignment, and ask for more and come into alignment, and ask for more and come into alignment, and ask for more and come into alignment. And do you know what the joy of life is? Coming into alignment, coming into alignment, coming into alignment, coming into alignment. That's the exhilaration. That's the being on the surfboard. That's the yodeling down the canyon. That's the feeling of passion that you keep reaching for. The feeling of passion comes to you when you are in movement toward that which you have become. And you all keep thinking, oh, I thought it was the getting there. We say, it can't be the getting there because you never get there. You never get to the end of the ride. You never get there. You say, oh, well, someday I'll croak. Yeah, that's just the beginning. When you croak, that's when you really let in all that you've been asking for. That's when you really decide to come forth and have more experience, to ask for more, you see. You are an eternal being seeking eternal expansion. Expansion is for sure. Eternal is for sure. Joyful is your choice. Well, we think we'll leave now. What more could we say? Now, we can hash out the nitty-gritty of your experience if you want to, but know that it is our desire to assist you in closing the gap between where your current belief is and anything that you want. Sometimes your desires are here where Source is, always that's the case, and your belief is somewhere different, and that causes discord within you. Sometimes you think that you desire things that are in opposition to each other, but that's not what's going on. It's your vibrational difference to your own desires that always causes your discord. So, we're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing off limits. We'll have a wonderful time. Appreciate those that come forward. In many cases, they will be prodding at something that is exactly what you're reaching for. You have to understand that this gathering gathered before you dragged your physical bodies here. So, the things that you want to talk about are already well developed over here in Vibrational Escrow. So, together we will unfold the path that will bring you to an understanding of what you've come here wanting to understand. So, where do you want to begin? There is some eagerness and clarity. It's a very good thing. We're going to jump here. Stand if you think it is you. It is you. Is it easy to think? Is it easy to feel? Is it easy to tell how the thought you think feels? Is there any more to it than that? Have we sort of ground this into the ground today? In other words, we're making far too much of all of this, aren't we? Find something to be happy about and focus on it and be happy. Then find something else to be happy about and focus on it and be happy. Then find something else to be happy about and focus on it and be happy. If you find yourself, by default, not watching what you're doing, stumbling onto something that doesn't feel happy when you focus upon it, Focus upon it and don't feel happy until you can't stand not being happy, and then make a decision to focus upon something that feels happy, and then focus upon it and be happy. That's pretty much it.
You have about 30 seconds.
Well, there is nothing more that we would give you, any of you, that will take you into greater clarity than what we have already achieved. We want to say to you that we found this particular gathering not only interesting but highly productive, in that we moved into places that we have not been before. This was a really powerful seminar where the nitty-gritty of your questions took us into places that we have not been before. Having said that, we want to leave you with something that we can feel has arisen as a result of the time that we've spent together today, and that is, we are all making too much of all of this. In other words, thoughts create, and you have the ability to direct your thoughts. And as you direct your thoughts, your feeling about the thoughts that you are directing will improve. And if you will let your life be about reaching for the best feeling thought that you can find from wherever you are, the universe will continue to deliver to you more opportunities, not only to expand, but more opportunities to revel in the deliciousness of what you have lined up. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would vacillate between two intentions, and they are very simple intentions. The first one would be, I want to feel good as much as I can feel good, which means I'm going to pay more attention to how I feel, and I'm going to more deliberately guide my thought. And the second intention that we would leave this gathering with, which really falls on the basis of what we have just said, is, I am determined. And think of the power of the word determined. I am determined to tell the story, all stories, the story of my life, the story of my wishes, the story of my past, the story of my present. I am determined to tell my story of how I want it to be. So if people say, how have you been? Your answer is irrelevant. As people say, hi, how are you? The answer is irrelevant. Not that you're irrelevant. My story about how I am is irrelevant. My story about how I have been is irrelevant. You want to train people to say, hi, where are you going? Say to your friends, new plan. Hi, where are you going? Hi, what's up? Hi, tell me the good news. In other words, the new story, 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 because the old story is really old news. And the old story, you can't tell the old story and the new story at the same time. And the old story is counterproductive to what's in vibrational escrow. That's the new story. That's where you are. So begin telling the new story, and you'll get better and better at telling it. Tell it not because you're trying to use it to get to where you want to be. Tell the new story for the joy factor in the telling of it. So your friends are going to come to know you as the one who is always happy about explaining where you're going. It's the best teaching that you could ever do. Words don't teach. You teach through the clarity of your example. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain eternally and blissfully incomplete.